Today on the channel, the best of 2025 videos continue, and today we celebrate a man from the couch who's been here for all of them with the McFarland Toys Top 10 of 2025.
And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, back again for another best of 2025 countdown video. And today we got a special one, and the pressure's on as Mr. McFarland sitting on the couch as usual here. We're counting down the top 10 McFarland toy figures of 2025, not just DC, but this goes for everything Spawn and all points in between. So anything McFarland is going to be fair game in this very countdown. And you guys know by now, if you've been seeing these best of countdowns, we do them like this. We start at number 10, work our way to number 1. Number 1 being my absolute favorite McFarland figure of 2025. And as I always say, this is my list. Put your list in the comments down below. Guess what? My list is 100% right. Your list can be 100% right. It's hard to get to that through to some of the people here. It's just wild that people say, oh, your list is wrong. How could it be? It's my list. But that's neither here nor there. But we're going to dive into the best of McFarland in 2025 and quite the turning point year for McFarland toys. Some amazing stuff. Some things a lot of collectors have been hoping they would come out with this year. And we got some more of that as we go into 2026. But as we know, here in 2026, there's a lot of uncertainty. We know Mattel's taken over the majority of the DC property. Very unfortunate if you ask me. I don't like change, Todd, and I know you don't either. It'll be interesting to see where McFarlane goes. We know we're going to see a lot more Image figures, the Savage Dragons of the world. I'm here for that. More Spawn, I'm sure. But it'll be interesting if he can work out some kind of DC partnership, be it the Super Friends style, possibly, maybe statues, maybe something different. Going to be very interesting as we dive deeper into 2026 to see how this all shakes out and maybe possibly what McFarland jumps into. We know Playmates has given up or lost, however you want to classify it. Some of the Turtle stuff, could we see more Turtles from McFarland in the future? Could we see maybe some wrestling in the future? Maybe UFC? Going to be interesting because, you know, Todd, much like me, he likes to plug a good hole a time or two. And if there's going to be the DC gone, that's a lot of revenue, a lot of stuff gone out of the mix. He's going to want to replace that with something else. So I have a feeling he'll get some kind of new property or ramp up an existing property. It'll be very interesting, like I said, as we follow McFarland Toys in 2026. So stay tuned to the channel, subscribe to the channel, all that kind of fun stuff. But we're here for the top 10, celebrating the best of 2025, and we're going to kick it off. Number 10. We begin the countdown at, of course, number 10. But in number 10, we got an old-fashioned tie. I could not make my mind up, so we're calling it a tie at number 10. And number 10 features two very iconic characters in, personally, their most iconic looks. That's always up to you. But when I close my eyes and I think of these two characters, this is exactly what I think of. So where are we going? First, we're going to the Batman universe. We're going to Scarecrow. Yes, Scarecrow, a guy that's had a lot of looks over the years. Batman animated series, obviously this look and all points in between. But when I think of him, I think like a deranged Wizard of Oz performer is what he reminds me of, the Scarecrow Wizard of Oz. Very, very cool, very horror-fueled with this one. Definitely scary in the face. You got the big hat going on. Very, very cool rendition of Scarecrow. And I think for the majority of us, this is the Scarecrow we were hoping to get. And Todd from the couch, once again, I think 2026, he's going to put it all out there. We're going to get some re-releases. We're going to get a lot more product. And we're going to get some heavy hitters that maybe he never got around to that he's going to need to rush to production. So we should see some good stuff in 2026. And this is the start of it towards the tail end of 2025 with basically the perfect Scarecrow. But tied for number 10 here goes back to a character I really don't know a ton about. I know enough to be dangerous, and he's kind of like, let's say, DC's version of Doctor Strange, even though I think he came first. We're going to Dr. Fate from the DC digital line, but we're going to the regular edition of this one, not the Platinum edition. And the reason this one comes in so hot for me at number 10 is because of my childhood. I was first introduced to DC characters in the Super Friends lineup, the Super Friends cartoon once upon a time. And I always wanted that Dr. Fate figure. Never got it for whatever reason. You know, there's probably something else I wanted more, or we just couldn't find him. Whatever the reason was, I always look back at that Super Friends line and I think of, man, what if I would have had him? What if I would have had him? And Dr. Fate and Red Tornado are two I really wish I would have had as a kid. So it is kind of cool, and it kind of is full circle in a lot of ways to get this era, this version, this rendition of Dr. Fate. The yellow and blue really pop on this one. I like this figure a whole lot. Two good classic iconic looks for me personally. Coming in, number 10. You may remember the number 9 selection as one of my top picks from 2024's countdown. Well, in 2025, he came back for a second helping, or technically a third helping, and I feel like Todd from the couch watched that and said, I want to do something for my old buddy Kyle. You know Kyle, he's doing those McFarlane videos all the time, saving the twist ties. He's a great guy. Let's throw him a bone, and they did throw me a bone. Or maybe a carrot. We're going to Amazon. We're going to the Amazon exclusive glow-in-the-dark Captain Carrot. Absolutely love this figure. One of my absolute favorite figures from the McFarlane toys over the last, I don't know, decade plus at this point. Heck, let's call it from the infancy, Todd McFarlane. I absolutely love Captain Carrot. So for them to re-release this one in a variant alternate glow-in-the-dark, Todd, knowing I'm a sucker for glow-in-the-dark, displaying a lot of hits for me right here. I love that you could display this just regular. It doesn't have to be glowing in the dark all the time, and it looks just fine. But man, does this thing glow. Glow-in-the-dark technology come a long ways in the last couple of years, and Captain Carrot leads the charge as a fronter in my collection. Absolutely love this one. The Amazon exclusive comes in number 9. Feeling great at number 8. We know how that goes by now, but the number 8 selection I could easily see at number 1 on somebody's list this year. I personally know a few people, 2 collectors, that this is the only McFarlane figure they have ever purchased. And shame on them, right, Todd? Shame on them. But this is the only figure they ever purchased because this is so meaningful from them. This one may be a little bit forgotten in the shuffle as it did come out very early in 2025. Where are we going? We're going to the collector's edition. We're going to the Christopher Reeve Superman. Yes, Superman from the 80s movies. So iconic to multiple generations at this point, and a pretty darn good likeness, if you ask me. We did get 2 other versions. We did get a Page Puncher comic book edition, and then we got the Evil Superman variant edition, but the regular plain Jane one is what came in at number 8 for me. Very iconic. As a little kid, I watched, obviously, the Superman movies. They used to be on TV all the time when I was a kid, so obviously very nostalgic for me, and nostalgic to many others. So no doubt this is going to be on a lot of lists, but for me, comes in number 8. Countdown continues at number 7, and oh no, there goes Tokyo. That's what a young Buck Dharma told me once upon a time. Yes, Buck Dharma, Todd McFarlane. We all love a little Buck Dharma. We all love a little Blue Oyster Cult. And number 7 selection, we go to the Godzilla Superman 2-pack. Controversial in its own right, but I absolutely love the Superman from this set here. This Superman is amazing because a lot of times we get kind of a stoic head on Superman. What I love about this one is he's got an angry face. He's screaming, he's yelling. He's the Superman that just said, okay, I'm over it. It's time to take care of business. And unfortunately, Godzilla is going to be that business. And it's big business, Godzilla. But I also love the coloring of this Superman. Now, Superman has a lot of different variations on the blues and reds. And there's a few I like and a few I don't like everybody else. But this is one of the great combinations I really do like. So you add a great color combination, a beautiful head sculpt. You get the beautiful soft wires cape. You know they're playing all the hits for me. Coming in at number 7, it's Superman from the Godzilla 2-pack. Countdown rages on to number 6, and I've talked about this in my Marvel unboxings. I've talked about it in my McFarlane unboxings, that in the world of superheroes, heck, we could talk Image if we wanted to, Todd McFarlane. In the world of superheroes, it's hard to know everything. And going back to when I was a little kid, my comic book journeys always started with the action figures. Maybe I'm weird. A lot of people obviously started with the comic books. There was instances I went that way as well. I don't go both ways, but sometimes, Todd. There's instances I have learned about a character from the comic book first and then been excited for their figure, but most of the times in my life, I discovered them through the action figure and then read up and read comics or read their bio, whatever it may be. So it's interesting for me knowing that a lot of people are maybe the other way around. They leave them comic books and they go the other way, but I usually go action figures, then I find out more about them. And I started doing that when I was a little kid with the Super Friends and the Secret Wars. Got the figures, researched, found out about them from the comic books later. And I kind of continued that through Toy Biz up to this day. And where am I going with this long-winded one? Well, the number 6 selection is a character I have never heard of until his figure came out this year. He also had one of the hardest platinum figures to find in all of McFarland toy history. I do have that. I am looking at it right here. I have yet to unbox that. I'm not sure if I will. I'm not sure what to do. It's a very expensive figure. Do I unbox it for 200 views? I don't know. And you guys know it's a passion project, this channel for me, especially Kyle Peterson 2.0, or McFarland does live. So make sure you subscribe to my second YouTube channel. But I don't know if I do unbox that one. But I did unbox the regular one, and I absolutely love it. Coming out number 6 is Icon. Basically a repainted Superman in some ways is what it kind of feels like. But an absolutely amazing figure. Soft goods, wired cape. You had me at hello. And then the Christmas coloring on this one really, really pops. And then the head on this is absolutely amazing with the yellow eyes in there. Playing all the hits in this Icon figure. Dare I say the sleeper figure of 2025 for McFarland Toys. Looks absolutely amazing. I love this figure. And as I said, I never even knew the character until this figure came out. Hard to get this one. The Platinum even harder to get. But man, oh man, is a good figure, a good figure. Icon comes in number 6. We've hit the halfway point of the countdown. You got your list together. Make sure you put it in the comments down below. And don't forget to subscribe to both of my YouTube channels, especially Kyle Peterson 2.0, my second YouTube channel. Videos there every single day, including a lot of McFarland figures. Probably 95% of the McFarland unboxings are on Kyle Peterson 2.0. So make sure you subscribe to that channel. You don't want to miss out on some of these. And all of these we probably unboxed over there this year. So check out Kyle Peterson 2.0 and subscribe to both my channels. But here we are at number 5. And number 5 is a special one and another figure very hard to find this year. Kind of came and went. Didn't see it out at traditional retail. More of a fan channel thing. More of a McFarland store thing. That's what this one ended up being. But this one is pretty cool. And it was definitely a passion project for you once upon a time. As I believe Todd McFarlane had his beautiful speech at San Diego Comic-Con this year. I was right up there front row. And I was just like one of these things. Just looking at Todd right there, and he dangled his feet a couple of times. I said, "You got this, Todd." And I'm just cheering him along. But he told an amazing story, like some 40-some years ago. He got money to propose to his girlfriend, now wife, many years ago, based off of his artwork and his payment for this character. I thought that was a really cool story, but a cool figure as well. Who are we going to at number 5? Page Puncher. Mr. Bones. Oh my gosh, he's smuggling a bone or two. You know what I'm talking about, Todd. It is Mr. Bones, a classic looking character, just very basic as far as skeletons go, but man, sometimes basic is the better. Soft, good wire cape, had me at hello. Beautiful skeleton head. You know me, I love head, even from a skeleton a time or two. Love all this, and the red and black attack looking just absolutely amazing. A fun figure coming in at number 5, Mr. Bones. Closer and closer to the end of the list. We're at the number 4 selection, and number 4 is a great one. We've had, I think, 4 different versions of this character over the last 2 years, including the Platinum editions. But man, oh man, in gold label, don't forget those gold labels. But I absolutely love this character here. I love the story arc where he was beginning from. I remember as a kid waiting in line at the comic book store to get the issues here. The excitement about everything around this story arc from Superman in the 90s. You might know where I'm going. We're going to Superman once again, but in a plot twist, we're going to Cyborg Superman in the classic Superman colors. Absolutely love this one. As I always say on the channel, they're always going to give you a figure, but they're not going to give you the one you really want the first go around, because they're going to make you buy that and say, well, it's not the one I really want, but I got to have it. And that's what happened with the first couple editions of the Cyborg Superman. Then this year in 2025, they stood up and they gave us the definitive one, the one we all really wanted. An absolutely amazing figure, very fun, very cool. Looks like Terminator Superman is what it looks like to me, but absolutely love this figure. So happy it came out this year. Coming in extra hot, number 4. Here we go. We're at the final 3, the number 3 spot. Once again, I guess this is the character of the year for McFarland Toys. We're going to Superman again. We're going to the DC Digital line for a classic Superman. When I close my eyes, this is basically what I think of with Superman. You might think Christopher Reeve, you might think one of the cartoons, who knows? But for me, this DC Digital is basically Superman perfection. Very, very cool. Once again, soft wired cape, you know I'm here for that. You got the baby blue instead of the darker blue, which is the most iconic to me. Just very, very fun. It reminds me of a kid when I was grocery shopping with my parents. I'd sit there, I'd look at comic books and magazines and things, and there was a lot of Superman around this time that looked just like this. So that was very fun for me. Very nostalgic, and that's a big part of my action figure collecting is nostalgia. And dare I say, this is almost the perfect Superman for me. Coming in extra hot at number 3 is the DC Digital version of Superman. Getting down to the nitty-gritty, like a young nitty-gritty dirt band who I believe played one of the McFarlane Toys Christmas parties, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody fact-check that if you want to. But here we are at number 2, and the number 2 character had a heck of a year. He may have retired forever, maybe, from wrestling. He had his series 2 of course, Peacemaker on HBO. It is John Cena. It is the Peacemaker redo edition, because once again, as I always say, the toy companies like to give us one ahead of time and then they fix it later on. And we got that with Peacemaker, blowing the old versions well away. Just an amazing figure with all the different helmets. We got Eagly this time. You got the beautiful head scan of John Cena compared to the old one that didn't look so good. And then we actually got the weapon this time around. So dare I say the perfect Peacemaker, or pretty darn close to it. And Peacemaker stole a lot of hearts the last couple of years. And he wasn't even originally a DC comic book character, as most of us do know. But man, oh man, has he jumped up. And I would say he's one of the most popular DC characters going right now, which is just really crazy because he was a small, ancillary, maybe even D-level character, got moved up to the top spot. And John Cena did a huge part of that. So very cool to get this Peacemaker this year. An amazing figure. And the January Patreon giveaway if you're a Patreon supporter. So check that out. But we're talking John Cena Peacemaker coming in at number 2, which means there can only be one. What is the number 1 McFarlane figure of 2025? Well, stay tuned. Here we are with the number 1 McFarlane Toys figure of 2025. You got your list together. Put it in the comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and my other YouTube channel. We got so many countdowns as we celebrate the best of 2025. You don't want to miss one, and we'll see where we go into 2026. But for 2025, the one line that really stole a lot of hearts and obviously has not let go, as this line has been very difficult to track down. And one of the most difficult to track down was the number 1 selection here. It was a GameStop exclusive. It was very expensive. And as usual, whenever there's an expensive figure, there's always people in the comments that say, it's not worth it. It's not worth that price. Well, it depends if it's worth it to the person that buys it. That's what it really comes down to. It's your money after all. Vote with your wallet, as we always say. And for me, I did get some discount points. I used some reward points, my monthly point over there at GameStop to pick this up. But where are we going at number 1? Hard to decide, but I really did prefer this one a heck of a lot more than the other one. A lot of you may be the other way around, but I did pick up at number 1, the Penguin, Danny DeVito's Penguin from Batman Returns, and the Duck Boat, which the Duck Boat isn't part of this, but I just brought it along. But this Danny DeVito Penguin is what I think of with the Penguin. Now, the other one's a little bit more dapper, we'll say. This is the down and dungy, dirty, gross Penguin that's in the sewers. That's what this is. Now, the coat did come with the Penguin Commandos, which almost earned a spot on this list as such an iconic Kenner toy once upon a time when I was a kid. Love those as well, and I love to pair those Penguins with the Duck Boat and the Penguin here, but I do have the jacket on the Penguin. But an absolute amazing figure, this one. Now, is it perfect? No, they didn't give us both flipper hands. I kind of understand that. That is a bit of a knock on here, but man, did they get the likeness right, especially the grungy version here. Looks like he's in his pajamas. It's just an amazing, amazing figure. You give the Penguins with this, you get the boat with this, and then it's just like, it's perfection on a shelf. I still don't know where I'm going to display it. But the Batman Returns line was special to a lot of people. A lot of people still trying to track that line down. But this Penguin in the Duck Boat, an all-timer that I never really thought we would ever get in figure form. But here we are today, and that's going to be my number 1 McFarlane figure for 2025. So there it is. That's my top 10. Once again, put your top 10 in the comments below. Todd, it was a heck of a year here from the couch. Let's do it again. Let's do it again in 2026. We'll take it on a year-by-year lease at this point is what we're going to do. So we'll see where it goes in 2026. But really appreciate everybody watching the McFarlane videos, everybody subscribing to the channel, watching the best of videos, watching the countdowns and all points in between. Don't forget the podcast. You're right, Todd McFarlane. Appreciate everybody's support out there. Check out Patreon, YouTube channel memberships for even more content. SirPaul64 on the X, _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, Instagram, TikTok, and TheKylePetersonShow at gmail.com. Also, the name of the podcast, The Kyle Peterson Show, available every Tuesday where podcasts are found with videocast on YouTube. So for the top 10 McFarlane figures of 2025, I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.
Well, are we going to dance or are we going to play?